What's up guys, Ruppy here, and welcome to week 7 of the BBR-D League. Things are certainly heating up, and I will say this, our win last week over A12 that got us back in the win column definitely went a long way in helping us out, because with only 2 weeks left in the regular season, this playoff race might somehow be one of the tightest I think I've ever found myself ensnared in. I'm currently sitting at 4-2 plus 8, and even that isn't necessarily a guarantee at this point that I will make playoffs. Yeah, honestly, a win this week may lock it in, but I'd have to see how everything else plays out first. But there is a chance we may just have to win out to be absolutely sure. So that is kind of the plan. We will see how well it actually works out. That's not going to be an easy task though, because this week we are playing the Chicago Grookeys, coached by Vortex. Now, Vortex's record honestly is not a reflection of how scary his team is. This is going to be a big one that we're going to have to win, and it is not going to be an easy challenge. So let's go ahead and flip away from the locker room, go ahead and go to Showdown, our Teambuilder, our chalkboard, and go ahead and get into what I'm up against. His team will be appearing off to the right, and it is as follows. Meowscarada, Latias, Heatran, Urshifu-Rapid-Strike, Galarian Weezing, Umbreon, who is his Terra Captain, Sandy Shocks, Cryogonal, Crocalor, Hisuian Zoroark, and Squawkabilly. There's some things on this team that I really do not like, and at the very top of that list is Urshifu-Rapid-Strike. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I hate playing Urshifu with a passion. I hate this mon so much. Its mere presence actually kind of screws over some of the normal tactics I've been doing, so I had to kind of really get a little more creative this week to deal with it. Hisuian Zoroark is 100% coming to this game. I'm going to tell you that right now. If it doesn't, I will be very surprised, because it is basically, on paper, a complete stop to my Spectrier. Just because with normal Ghost, it kind of basically stops Spectre from being able to just spam Shadow Ball because it's technically immune. Ursaluna can't really use normal stab on it. And it's a powerful special attacker that's kind of fast. So Hisuian Zoroark, I'm almost positive that thing is going to come. Meowscarada is going to be an absolute pain because there's a lot of things it can do. A lot of different sets it can run. Umbreon is an interesting Terra Captain. I could see him mostly being a bit of a defensive Terra just to try to keep his team healthy and wear me down. I have also seen Vortex run setup sets, so I had to keep that in mind. I have had a bit of help with building this week, and the general consensus among myself and the people helping me, who I will shout out towards the end of this Team Builder segment, is that Umbreon is going to be Terra Poison this week. I would not be surprised if that's the case, because it does seem like the best defensive type against what I have. Terra Fairy is another option, but I'm pretty sure Terra Poison would be his most likely option, especially considering it means he doesn't have to bring Galarian Weezing, which actually kind of has a somewhat poor matchup against my team. Crocalor can be an absolute pain with Unaware. Heatran as one of his potential rock setters, same with Sandy Shocks, those could be potential issues. There's a bunch of things on this team I really do not like. So, how exactly are we going to deal with this, you ask? Well, it begins with my win con, Nightmare the Spectrier. That's right. Even though I just said Hisuian Zoroark is almost certainly coming to this game to stop my horse, and Meowscarada is also kind of a bit of a problem for it, I'm still bringing Spectrier this week. Because I have a game plan. And Spectrier's set definitely plays into that game plan. It is a sub-nasty plot set. A timid nature with 200 speed EVs will always outrun everything that is non-Scarf. I've specifically benchmarked for non-Scarf Meowscarada. Shadow Ball and Draining Kiss are really the only offensive moves I need. Shadow Ball rips through most of this team. For anything that actually takes it, I have Draining Kiss for. Nasty Plot allows me to get Boost Up, which will speed up Spectrier just mowing down this team. Substitute is here for two main reasons. Outplaying Sucker Punch Meowscarada, especially if it's banded, that will definitely put it on the back foot. Allows me to scout for that as well. And it also will help me in playing around Hisuian Zoroark, because if I just set up a sub when he switches in expecting to just freely, quote-unquote, take a Shadow Ball because of Hisuian Zoroark's normal typing, and then be able to fire back, then he's got a bit of a problem on his hands. On the off chance he runs a Scarf Meowscarada, I am running Colbur Berry to address that. It'll allow Spectre to always live any dark move that Meow wants to throw at me, and it should still leave me with enough HP to be able to get a sub up, in which case I can then just heal up with Draining Kiss and go from there. Honestly, the only real defensive answer on his entire team, once I start accumulating boosts, is Crocolore just because of Unaware. But between sub, Draining Kiss to heal up, and repeated Shadow Balls, I can wear that thing down. So, it is probably the only real answer he has. It is not the best answer if I just repeatedly lay into it. But Spectre is going to need some help in setting up this week. And to set up for that endgame, that is where pretty much the rest of this team comes in. Starting with Scyther. Our Harvester is a Scarf set this week. Jolly with 224 speed EVs will always outrun a Scarf or Booster Energy Sandy Shocks if Booster Speed is what he's running with it. The main goal is to abuse Scarf U-turn to pivot around and chip away at things to basically make Spectreer's job a lot easier in being able to come in and clean house. Dual Wing Beat, in addition to being Technician boosted and Stab, it will always OHKO Urshifu-Rapid-Strike unless he's running a very, very bulky version of that mon. Close Combat takes advantage of a rather notable fighting weakness on Vortex's entire roster. And I threw Defog on there just as an emergency button in case I need to remove hazards in a pinch. Because it does have a couple of hazard setters, and it's just there to kind of help out with that. Scyther is basically my lead. End of story. If he's running Scarf Meowscarada and happens to also be running Triple Axle to pick off Scyther, fair enough. I would actually willingly accept that lead sack because it will tell me that Meowscarada is in fact Scarf. So that would be good knowledge to have. But in every other scenario, Scyther can pretty much pivot around his team freely and wear things down to set Spectreer up. That leads us to the next mon in our little pivoting chip chain, that being Seabreeze the Keldeo. I got a Life Orb set, and Keldeo is here to basically break things. Timid 232 speed will always outrun a timid max speed Cryogonal. Water and Fighting Stab basically is only really resisted as a stab combination by Latias, and I'm a little iffy on Latias coming to this game because I have quite a few answers to it, to be perfectly honest. So Keldeo can very easily open up holes in this team between Surf and Secret Sword, especially Secret Sword taking advantage of that aforementioned fighting weakness. Flip Turn is my pivoting move of choice so that Keldeo can help Scyther out in setting up Spectreer by pivoting around and chipping away at things and allowing me to better position. Vortex's entire roster basically is not, by design, does not look like it handles pivoting well, so I'm planning on trying to abuse that. Finally, considering I've had rosters that were meant to abuse pivoting in the past and have not done so. It's about time I get on that train. And I also have Vacuum Wave as priority because with some prior chip, Vacuum Wave off a Life Orb will in fact take out Meowscarada. And if Meowscarada's out of the picture, that makes Spectreer's job a lot easier, because that's one less mind game I need to play against him. Next up, we have Algae Bloom the Dragalge, and this is a bit of an interesting set. It's a bulky set. It's by design with this bulk investment, it can actually take on most of Vortex's team pretty well. Especially with the physical investment to be able to deal with Meowscarada and Urshifu-Rapid-Strike, because Dragalge actually resists just about everything Urshifu could throw at it, barring maybe an Ice Punch if he just decides to run that. Which is possible, I'm not going to rule that out. Black Sludge allows me to keep longevity, adaptability to boost the power of my stab moves, which, even with only 32 special attack EVs, definitely will make Draco Meteor a nasty hit for anything on his team to take. I have Flip Turn, so Dragalge can join the pivoting train with Keldeo and Scyther to wear things down. Toxic Spikes is a bit of an interesting option. I know he has Galarian Weezing, but it would have to run Neutralizing Gas to actually absorb them, otherwise he would have to waste the turn defogging. I know Cryogonal could defog and is immune because of Levitate. Heatran is part poison. I know he has a lot of things that aren't necessarily bothered by Toxic Spikes, but for the things that can in fact get poisoned, I intend to use this to further help in wearing those things down, unless they are boots. But Toxic Spikes actually has a hidden purpose here, and it's because of Hisuian Zoroark. Toxic Spikes, if I can spread status throughout his team, it will go a long way in making it a lot harder for Hisuian Zoroark to be able to hide right in front of me and catch me off guard. So as long as I keep track of the status that's flowing through his team, then Hisuian Zoroark cannot get the jump on me. That is the main reason I'm bringing Toxic Spikes to this game. And then there's Acid Spray. Acid Spray is a bit of cheeky little tech that I decided to go with this week because of two main reasons. Unaware Crocolore, and the possibility of a setup Umbreon. Acid Spray allows me to answer both of them, because Heatran is the only thing that is really immune to it. Umbreon could if he goes Terra Steel, which it's possible, but I just don't see him doing that because it's not really doing anything for Umbreon's fighting weakness that it already has. Unaware does not negate your own stat drops, so that will actually allow Dragalge to be able to weaken Crocolore and blow it up with a Draco Meteor if that's how he wants to try to check Dragalge. There is also the Umbreon. If it's a bulky Calm Mind set, I can lower his special defense faster than he can boost it in a battle of Calm Mind versus Acid Spray, which will, 1, keep a potential stored power from taking out Dragalge, and 2, set him up for a Draco Meteor to blow that thing away. Next on the docket, we have probably one of the most bizarre Grimmsnarl sets that has ever been concocted, and I really gotta thank those who helped me this week. Again, I will shout them out at the end of this Teambuilder segment, for this crazy little idea. This is not a Prankster Grimmsnarl. This is... I felt Prankster doesn't feel useful here, because 1, Meowscarada, as long as it keeps its Dark typing, basically shuts down anything I would really want to do with Prankster. There is still the option of Prankster Screens, but considering Urshifu-Rapid-Strike has Unseen Fist, which basically ignores my screens, it's not as good in that department. So this is the answer that was concocted to deal with those two mons specifically. Citrus Berry will allow me to heal up once I fall past a certain point, which then works in tandem with Pickpocket, because once that Citrus is popped, any of his mons that make contact, namely Meowscarada and Urshifu, especially since they do have multi-hit moves in Surging Strikes and Triple Axle if Meow wants to go for that, I can use Pickpocket to basically... Citrus will heal me up, Pickpocket will then steal their item, which if I could take a Choice Band off one of those two things, that would be immensely... That would help immensely on several fronts. I've got Drain Punch to be able to heal up and take advantage of the fighting weakness. Bulk Up allows me to boost up. It will not really work against Surging Strikes because of its auto-crit nature on Urshifu, but it will help me be able to hit Urshifu a lot harder, and also take out Meowscarada a lot better, further set up the potential Citrus Pickpocket shenanigans. Sucker Punch is here primarily to threaten Latias and Hisuian Zoroark, and at +1, or if I take the Choice Band off of something, Meowscarada, once it loses its Dark typing, is actually 2-hit KO'd by Sucker Punch, which would be really nice. Especially if I get to +1 and steal a Choice Band. That would be absolutely incredible. But to really help out with the planned Spectre endgame, I have Thunder Wave. Because with Thunder Wave, I can spread stats throughout this entire team, including Meowscarada, because I do not have Prankster, so it cannot actually block that. Slowing down his faster things really makes Spectre's job a lot easier. And to further add to that interesting little point, I have 24 Speed EVs on Grimmsnarl. This will actually allow this set to always outrun a Jolly Max Speed Urshifu once I paralyze it. So that makes Urshifu a little easier to wear down and further set something else up, namely Spectrier. And then to round the team out, we have our typical bulky tank, Artemis the Ursaluna. The bulk on this Ursaluna set really allows it to pretty much wall all of Vortex's special attackers, and even handle some of his physical attackers quite well too. As a reference to this, Meowscarada has to be running Choice Band to be able to OHKO this set. If he's not, then I can take a hit, at least from full, and then be able to threaten accordingly. Play Rough is just good fairy coverage for Meowscarada, Urshifu, Latias, those kinds of mons, because he does have a bit of a fairy weakness too. Drain Punch, same reason I'm running it on Grimmsnarl. Heal up, take advantage of the fighting weakness. I have Earthquake for a strong stab hit, and it threatens mons like Heatran, Crocolore, and Sandy Shocks, which really don't want to take it, and kind of can't really touch this Ursaluna set otherwise, to be quite frank. Especially considering I have Guts, so burning this thing would be an absolute huge mistake on his part. And I threw Body Slam on there as well, for a couple reasons. One, so I have a way to hit Galarian Weezing if for whatever reason he does bring it and runs Levitate on it. 2, another strong stab hit. And 3, to help Grimmsnarl in spreading paralysis throughout this team to further set up the Spectrier endgame. A lot of this is basically working towards finally getting Spectrier to shine. And I am very hopeful that it will work out as we go ahead and flip back over to our locker room. Lots of stuff to like about this, and at this point, I want to give a huge shout out to It's Danny Mac and Dapper Snapper for their help in building this week. It is very much appreciated, guys, and thank you so much for all the help. We will see if it works out, and if I can potentially even lock up a playoff spot, depending on how all the games go this week, because not having to stress about it next week would be very much appreciated if that's how the cards fall. But we will find out soon enough. I will see you guys when it's battle time. Alright, it is battle time. So let's see what I am up against. He brought Heatran. He brought the Squawkabilly. Okay, I respect it. Hisuian Zoroark, knew that thing was coming. Umbreon, which he did tell me is Terra Poison, so we were right on that. Cryogonal, and Meowscarada. So, a little surprised to not see Sandy Shocks or even the Crocolore, but aside from that, this is mostly what I expected to see. Just wishing him good luck, have fun real quick. My plan is been set in stone since we made this team. Harvester is my lead. Scarf U-turn out. We will go from there. So that is the game plan. That is not changing, even in the face of this team. So, good luck and fun, Vortex. Make sure you guys go check out his side of the battle. Leave him a like and a sub. I'm sure he would greatly appreciate it. And let's see if we can potentially lock up a playoff spot. He's just going to lead with the Umbreon. Completely fine with me. Well, it looks like Umbreon, but it could very easily be Zoroark as well. Let's see. If he's Scarf, I live. And honestly, just U-turning out is my safest play altogether. He's going to Terra, so this is in fact the Umbreon. I do need to keep a closer eye in this game on where health is at on things, because that is going to be my big key to basically keeping track of Zoroark. So at least I know he can't turn it into Umbreon because it's already Terra'd. So I'm just going to go ahead and U-turn out. You're going to get that going. And I feel like my play right now is just to go Dragalge. Because even if he starts trying to set up, Yeah, I feel like Algae Bloom is my best play here. I can take care of this thing and go from there. So Algae Bloom is in. He's going to set up a Reflect. Interesting. He's pulling screens on me. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and throw up a layer of Toxic Spikes just to see if I can... Since I know this thing is his Poison type, it's going to have to switch back in to absorb these. He can go ahead and get both screens up if he wants. Okay, so pulling screens on me, that is going to make things a little interesting. That's fine, though. He probably switches here, I would imagine. I'm going to Acid Spray. See what he wants to go into. If he goes into Heatran, that is fine. I can go from there. He just Baton Passes. Okay. So he is just completely a utility set meant to just pivot around. That is the Cryogonal, which is fine with me. So that's going to take this Acid Spray, have its defense lowered. A thought crosses my mind right now. Does the possibility exist you are Specs? Because if that's the case, this could actually be a problem. I feel like you might just get rid of this Toxic Spike, though. I'm willing to gamble on Flip turning out, though. He does go for Freeze Dry, which does quite a chunk, so you're definitely more offensive. That is good to know. And this thing does have its special defense lowered, despite the light screen. I mean, I could also just go into... So there's a couple options here. I could go into Ursaluna and maybe threaten this thing. I could also maybe go into Keldeo. A Freeze Drive would hurt, but yeah, I'm going to go into Seabreeze. Because I feel like with the chip damage, even with the light screen up, he is at -2, so with the chip damage from... Yeah, with the chip damage, he should be at a point where I can Secret Sword and kill this thing. So we will see how this plays out. If he wants to switch something in to take a Secret Sword, he can be my guest. So he is just going to switch out into the Umbreon. Fair. That gets rid of my Toxic Spike, which is fine. And I'm just going to Flip turn out on you. You're going to keep chipping away. I'm aware screens are up, but we will work around this. He could also just Baton Pass into something. That is very much a possibility. So we Flip turn out, get a little more chip off on this thing. So Baton Pass, Reflect, Light Screen. He could just be a completely passive set if he's got Moonlight. Which, if that's the case, that could really set him up for Nightmare later. I don't want to rush too much into anything right now, but this does almost kind of feel like I could come into Master Org and start setting up bulk ups, maybe. I'm kind of tempted to do that, actually. Yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna gamble. We're gonna play this game. So Master Org is in. He is going to just Baton Pass out, which is fine with me because I really want to see what this Umbreon, what he thinks is a switch into this Grimmsnarl. I would honestly love to see Meowscarada right now. He goes into Heatran, and I just realized he didn't bring Urshifu. Wow, I was actually kind of afraid of that thing. And yet it is not here. So if you're an offensive set, a Flash Cannon has a chance to kill me. I'm gonna go to Artemis. We're not gonna take this risk. Not yet. I want to preserve my Citrus Berry. Not worth it just yet. If he sets up rocks, that's fine. I can get Scytherine and Defog goes away. He just Flash Cannons, which Artemis takes. That knocked me down to 362. About 20. Yeah, I think you're a more offensive set just based on that. So that is good to know. I would hazard a guess you switch into Squawkabilly, maybe? Or Cryogonal? I'm gonna Drain Punch, because I severely doubt you stay in and take an Earthquake from this, because it kills even through screens. Ursaluna is just that much of a monster. As that is the Squawkabilly, which is Intimidate. Noted. I'm still gonna be able to just pop this thing with, So his Reflect is gone, so there is that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and Body Slam. I feel like I can take a huge chunk out of this thing, maybe paralyze it, make it things a little easier on Spectrier later. Interesting. So that is very good to know. Reversal. Nice tech, honestly. And... I am intrigued now. You know what? I'm gonna go into Nightmare. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm pulling the trigger on this way too early. But... I'm pretty sure he's gonna go Reversal again. Endure! Okay. So that's what we're playing with. Good to know. And honestly, I'm just gonna go ahead and set up a sub right now. Again, maybe a little premature on this, but if I can catch something right now and get the ball rolling a little earlier, that is the actual Umbreon. So good to know this thing is in. And I'm just gonna go ahead and set up a Nasty Plot in this thing's face. He can set up a Light Screen if he wants. I am not bothered by it in the slightest. I am safely behind my sub. I can set up on this thing. Spectrier could actually start causing some problems right here and now. So we are up to +2. As he just Baton Passes out. Okay. I think that Umbreon might be completely passive. Back into... Yeah. Nice try. Nice try. He has Shadow Sneak. Interesting. That is fine, though, because I'm going to be able to get a huge hit off on this thing. Almost KO it, actually. And get Spectre back up to full. I'm curious now. If you're a physical set, let's say you're Jolly Physical Banded. Does Shadow Sneak kill me? No, but it does a ton. it does a ton, and I'd rather not take that right now. I'm gonna go into Master Org. We're not gonna play this game. Because Master Org can definitely take a Shadow Sneak, and I can go from here. Yep, I eat that up all day. And I have a feeling he's gonna switch. So I'm gonna go ahead and bulk up. Yep. So that thing is gonna go back into hiding. And that is going to be the Heatran. Which I know is an offensive set. I'm gonna bulk up. I'm at 365. Flash Cannon has a chance to kill. I'm gonna go for a Drain Punch anyway. Call me crazy. This is probably very crazy. Yup, that was crazy and probably dumb for deviating away from the plan there. That was a mistake on my part. But we can go into Sea Breeze now and scare this thing out. Yeah, that was my bad. It is fine, though. It is fine. It is fine. I'm gonna go ahead and Surf. Try and hit something on the way in, because we're still chipping things down. As he goes back into the Umbreon. Completely fair. It's still going to take the Surf. Not well, because that was a crit. I am sorry for that, and I can't just not go for another Surf here. I am so sorry on that. That definitely mattered. Ugh. Okay, that's gonna leave a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. As he goes into Cryogonal. You know I'm Life Orb. And I know your screens are gone. I am starting to wonder if you're Scarf. Let me see something real quick. If he's Scarf, I'm at 201. If he's Scarf, I'm in range of a Freeze Dry. I'm gonna go into Artemis. Because I'm pretty sure this thing is Scarfed. The way he brought it in on my Keldeo like that, you've got to be Scarfed. Which, interesting bring if that's the case, but Ursaluna takes that. I could do a ton of damage to you with Drain Punch. Yeah, I'm gonna click Drain Punch, because I don't think Zoroark comes in. I really don't. Squawkabilly's low enough, I think it'll die. Meowscarada doesn't want to take this. Cryogonal doesn't want to take this. Zoroark, I don't know if it can touch me, actually. That is the actual Squawkabilly. Which, it does get Intimidate off. But I do KO with Drain Punch, so there is that. Alright. So, that was an interesting Squawkabilly bring. A very good one, though, for Ursaluna. I will give him that. And you finally surface. So, I am at 263. A Flower Trick definitely kills me. Yeah, this becomes exactly what you are and what you do. I'm gonna go into Harvester. Because I quad resist Flower Trick, if that's what he wants to go for. And we can see what exactly he is, depending on what he goes for. He subs! Interesting. Very interesting. Dual Wing Beat destroys that sub, though. I mean, maybe I should just pivot out, but I mean... Dual Wing Beat's kind of free right now. There is no way he's Scarfed if he's setting up subs. And I missed the Dual Wing Beat. Sub spikes. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm still going to Dual Wing Beat to break that. He's going to switch, which is fine. Which, I don't know what he said. Heatran. Of course it's Heatran. Which, at least I'm going to be able to chip this thing down. Okay, so that might have actually been a turning point for him. I have options here. I feel like Algae Bloom's my most I think Algae Bloom's my most expendable mon if I have to sack something right now. Just to see what he goes for. He's definitely not leftovers. He could be Chople, maybe? He goes for Flamethrower. Which Algae Bloom takes. Gonna be able to heal back up a bit. I'm gonna try to get a slow flip turnout. I see his Flamethrowers again. Which is fine. I'm just gonna get the slow flip turnout. I will die to spikes on the way back in, but that is completely fine. Because I can just go into Sea Breeze here. So that is an interesting Meowscarada set he's definitely running that I need to be mindful of. Given what he's got left... I mean, Surf's my best neutral ground. I'm gonna go Surf. Surf feels like my best neutral ground play here. If he goes into Cryogonal... Nope, he's gonna go into Meowscarada. Which does not take that Surf. And I'm gonna be able to pick it off with a Vacuum Wave. So that is the end of Meowscarada. And I think that actually opens up Spectre to sweep if I can get it back in. Hang on a second. Something seems a little fishy about this. I'm pretty sure this is Zoroark. And honestly, I feel like... No, I'm gonna go Ursaluna. I think Ursaluna is actually my most expendable mon at this point, given what he's got left. Because I can Vacuum Wave the Cryogonal. He goes for a Hyper Voice, which I take one. Oh. Gotcha. Okay. That becomes a bit of a problem. I'm still just going to click Earthquake and sack Artemis, though. So he's a mixed set with Throat Spray. Interesting. The thing is, though, I'm Scarf, and Shadow Sneak does not do a lot to Harvester. So there's really nothing stopping me from just U-turning out here. I KO this thing. I think I might take out Cryogonal. If Heatran comes in, I chip that thing down and can position. Yeah, he's going to Shadow Sneak, which is fine. I take this thing out with U-turn. So the Hisuian Zoroark is off the table now. So this raises two possibilities here. So let's see. I can go back into Seabreeze, who might be able to wrap this up, question mark. Let's see, if Cryogonal is, say, Max Scarf, what is it doing to Spectrier? I don't know if it is doing anything to Spectrier, honestly. Even with the spike up. And Heatran. I think Heatran's at a point where I might be able to just kill it with a raw Shadow Ball. Does the chance exist he has Specs? I think Seabreeze is my best answer, honestly, right now. Because I live the spike. If he sends out Cryogonal, I can Vacuum Wave that thing. Which is exactly what he does. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this thing is Scarf, the way he's been playing it. So a Vacuum Wave. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Vacuum Wave. Get good damage off on this thing, and I think that might... Yeah, he's going to take me out with Freeze Dry, which is fine. Yeah, I think Spectrier comes in and wins here. It looked low enough, I think a Shadow Ball could take it out. Well, if he's running a more... Let's see. Actually, yeah, if he's running a more offensive set, I'm pretty sure Nightmare just wins from here. Let's see. I do take the Spike. I should be able to take a Freeze Dry from this thing. He is at... 25, 30, it's about 35, which, yeah, Shadow Ball should kill this thing. He is not Scarf. Interesting. Still goes down, though. So... And all that remains now is Heatran. Which, if it is an offensive set, at +1, I'm pretty sure it dies. If he's Scarf, does a Flamethrower or a Flash Cannon take me out? Just want to be absolutely sure here. No, it should not. So I'm free to just fire for another Shadow Ball, and that should be game. Fire Blast! That might have done it if he hit, which... so this thing is Scarfed. Yeah, I don't think Fire Blast would have done it either, but... Regardless... Spectrier cleans house. And that's going to be a 3-0 win. Spectrier getting the chance to shine. Kind of. I'm going to clean up at the end, and setting it up was basically the main game plan all along. I definitely kind of deviated away from the game plan there, but I mean... It was a tough match considering he brought what I expected him to in terms of Mons. Sets, maybe not so much. Regardless, GG Vortex. That was a great game. Definitely had me nervous the whole way through. But that's gonna bump us up to 5-2. With any luck, that might have locked us up a playoff spot. I guess we'll see how the rest of the games play out, though. So, we will see what awaits us going into next week. So that said, GG again to Vortex. Make sure you guys go check him out. Leave him a like and a sub. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.